So very nice view from here, isn't it? As you can see, the stadium here is a stadium with 3 tiers, 3 levels in the stadium, and it's the only one like that in Germany. In England, Italy, Spain, this type of stadium is very common. Here in Germany it's still unique, even though this type of stadium has many advantages for the supporters in the stadium. First of all, from every point in the stadium you have perfect viewing conditions down to the pitch. Even from the last row, it's only 74 meters to the grass viewing distance. So if you compare this to the Olympic Stadium here in Munich, where Bayern Munich used to play in until 2005, the viewing distance there was more than 120 meters, so almost twice the distance. And people used to bring their binoculars into the Olympic Stadium so they could see the players. You don't need that here anymore. It's very good for the supporters. The next big advantage here in the stadium are the acoustics. They are brilliant in here, and I would really much like to test this with you. I would suggest that I will count to 3 and then we all shout goal together as loud as we can. Just for you to get a glimpse of how it might be in the stadium when it's filled with the people. So I will count to 3 and then we all shout.
Na contagem de 3, grita gol.
1, 2, 3, go!
Nice.
So you heard the echo, very impressive. We are only 22 people here in this group. The stadium has a maximum capacity of 71,137 people. So imagine them shouting together just like you did. It would be an impressive atmosphere here. For those 71,000 people, we have 68,000 seats. During international matches, this is an all-seater stadium. People are only allowed to sit during Champions League matches or matches of the national teams. So then it's only 68,000 in the stadium, but on national match days in the Bundesliga and the Cup or during friendly matches, the areas that are for the stands can be sold as stands. Then we have the additional amount of people in there, then it's up to 71,000 people. The prices in here are very moderate as well. We have very cheap tickets. For example, the tickets for the stands. A season ticket for the stands with Bayern Munich costs 140 euros. For 17 home matches, that's roughly 7 euros, 8 euros for one match. And so that's very cheap. And the rest of the tickets is between 30 to 75 euros for a seat. Where we are sitting here, it would be 40 euros.
Sala de imprensa.
We can just take a seat here.
最牛的3个球，梅西、罗纳多，对啊，这是你平时来看球看的。你也说了那个人foto。
Okay, you can now see how this room looks when it's filled with 180 people. This is from the presentation of Pep Guardiola as the manager of Bayern Munich. That was very crowded at that day. On a regular match day we have 40, maybe 60 journalists in here, so it's way too big. But it was built so big for the World Cup back then. Lots of journalists, and well, it's better to build it too big than too small. And the press conferences are then held here once before and once after the match. They're held very briefly, 5 to 10 minutes, and only 3 people sit on this podium. We have a press representative of the home team and the 2 managers of the teams. So no players or CEOs or owners of the clubs are interviewed here. It's just for the managers of the teams. And this podium does not only look like the outer hull of the arena, it can also be illuminated just like the outer hull of the arena in three colors, red, blue and white, and we match it to the actual match day, so it's a very nice thing. And on the outside it works a bit different. We have LEDs here, and I'm going to show you at the end of the tour how we do it on the outside of the hull. We have also two translator boxes, so if one of the managers doesn't speak English or German, we have translators in there that can help the other journalists understand everything. Okay. Okay, we're gonna need to use the whole room, so please go inside and everybody is inside. Okay, so obviously this is the locker room of Bayern Munich. You can see the 22 lockers for the players for match day, and above the lockers you have the pictures of the players that use those lockers. This always reminds me a bit of my time back at the kindergarten. That was done the same, and here we do it so you can see where your favorite players are. Earlier in the days there was a much stricter hierarchy here, especially when Oliver Kahn was playing for Bayern Munich, and then on the left hand side only the oldest players, the players that have been the longest with the club, were allowed to sit, and over here the young players had to sit, and so this was very strict, and since then it's been much more flexible. For example, the biggest example, Philipp Lahm, he's the captain of Bayern Munich, he's sitting over there, and we also have people sitting next to each other because of friendships, like Daniel van Beuten and Franck Ribéry. They are very good friends, and sometimes when we get new players, we sit them next to other players that speak the same language, so they can help them, integrate them in the team. So Javi Martinez, Dante, Rafinha and Thiago are all sitting next to each other, so they can help them each other. In the back of the room, you can see the screen with the pictures of how the room looks before kickoff. The players arrive here 75 minutes before kickoff. They have everything prepared for them. They can just, the players, they sprint in here, they stretch, they do short passing routines, and that's why this room has this rubberized floor, so the players can come in here with their football boots and don't get injured themselves. And we also have those ball nets because Bayern Munich has lots of experience with destroying light bulbs and mirrors, because in the Olympic Stadium there was no separate room for the warm-ups, and they had to do it in the locker room and in the hallway in front of it. And the guys at the Olympic Stadium told us that every week they had to replace the mirrors and the lamps. So yeah, it was also dangerous for the players. They could cut themselves, and then we have interviews from here in the stadium. So let's take So now imagine walking up here with 70,000 people in the stadium singing be a very, very incredible moment for you all. Still very impressive. When you look to the left and to the right, you can see the benches for the substitution players and the managers. As I said, sponsored by the Lufthansa, business class seats from an airplane of the Lufthansa, and they have been modified so they can be heated during the winter. And on this side is always where Bayern Munich is sitting during a match, and 1860 Munich is always sitting over there when they play, and the opponents then vice versa. Above you here, this hydraulic door, I told you about that, and just so that you feel very comfortable and safe, it only weighs 2.5 tons, and we have an additional door in this door, so when it's closed we can open this part here in the middle to the inside, and then people can walk down here without us having to open the whole hydraulic door. So that would take more than a minute to open and close it, and the people wouldn't see anything behind it, so we have this special door. Okay, so you can take, for example, pay 90 million euros. So Bayern Munich is easily worth more than €1 billion. And each of the Bayern Munich players gets a company car from Audi. They can get one from the catalog. They get it at the beginning of the season. They can drive it for 1 year, then they can give it back, but on that day they get a new one, so it's a very good deal for the players. And the only exception is the Audi R8. Audi says that's too exclusive, but I think with the wages the Bayern Munich players are earning, they can get 1 or 2 of them for themselves. So I think we should proceed back upstairs again, and then we're going to take a look at